I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the Best Rapper in LA podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? Stop what you're doing.
Cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to.
If you're listening to this podcast and haven't listened to my new album, Love and Rockets 316, please do so.
Chopper doing circles, it's a beat. I-R-D, L-A-P-D, trying to fuck up my party. Pull up like a chopper with a chopper like Harley. Fuck 'em, I say fuck 'em, bitch, I'm sorry, not sorry. Chopper doing circles, it's a beat. I-R-D, L-A-P-D, trying to fuck up my party. Pull up like a chopper with a chopper like Harley. Fuck 'em, I say fuck 'em, bitch, I'm sorry, not sorry. I ain't coming out with my hands on my head. I'ma come out butt naked, just my Vans and some dreads.
We become weirdos where we listen to more podcasts than music. I understand. I am guilty of that. However, why not listen to the new album? I'm still on tour promoting it, hopefully selling it if my records make it through customs. Please give a rate and review. I think we're getting to the point where we might have more episodes than reviews soon. So please, if you haven't, listen to the album. If you don't want to listen to the album, then just give the podcast some stars. Work hard. This is free. This podcast cost me money. Not a lot, thanks to Rob being so gracious with his time and energy and talent. But yeah, so all I ask is that you listen to the album and rate the podcast. The A$AP Rock single, Road Working, if you have kids, it's a slap. If you don't have kids, it still kind of slaps. It's about construction vehicles.
Construction vehicles, they move that dirt around. Build a road where there isn't a road. Construction vehicles, they move that dirt around. Dig a hole where there isn't a hole.
Long-Legged Larry, that one, and Kirby are good songs for your kids if you're listening to, like, want your kids to listen to some. If they're toddlers to even preteens.
Hey, Kirby, what you doing, Kirby? What you doing there? Long-legged Larry was a frog at the pond. Jump so high, might miss him while he gone. Jump over anything, even King Kong. Jumpin' Jack Flash was his favorite song. Now once upon a time there was a cat in a tree. Chased the squirrel up, been stuck since 3. The fireman came, said it's too high for me. How's that cat gonna ever get free?
Some kind of cool, weird shit that you can kind of get them into our genre of music. But that construction vehicle song, that shit is a bop. And I don't think Ace has any kids. That's the funny shit. My kids just asked me to make a kids album, and I got a beat from one of my producer's kids. So you guys, yes, retirement, yes, I will come back as Uncle Murs for a couple songs because my kids are begging me now. Now they saw Mega Ran perform in Chicago. So for my children, I think that was always one of my caveats I probably made here. I'll do whatever my kids ask me, but it's not going to be what you think. It's not me rapping. It's me talking to my kids, basically. I might not put it. I forgot that I can just do it for them. Send the kid to send me the beat and send it back. But I think we talked about, like, Burns' kids asked me for a feature. I will do features for children of family, like rappers. Burns' kids are getting in the studio. Burns' son got in the studio and was like, yo, with his other homie, they have a rap group. They're like 10. And they're like, do you think we can get a feature from Uncle Murs? If you think that I'm going to tell them that I'm not rapping anymore, you're out of your fucking mind. If you ever thought that, I want to make that clear to everyone. If your kids want me to rap, I will rap. If I know you, if I've held your kids and know their mother, like if I know you and we're family, yeah, I'll rap for your kids. Not rapping for you, not rapping for your anniversary, not making any new anniversary songs, not making a wedding song. I've done all those. But for the children's, like I said, and we may not ever put it out. But if I do a feature for your kid, we'll probably put it out. And I'm talking like kids. I'm not talking about your teenage rapper that's living on your couch and making beats in his room. Fuck that. You know, this is a great time. Let me describe a strange music tour to you guys. I don't know if I've done that here. Okay, guys, look. Since I'm on tour, and this is a tour episode, we talked last week or whatever week it was ago about the first tour I did in Europe. And I think we've mentioned it multiple times. I land, we hop on a train. I think it's a free tram. It's not. So we get off. The Netherlands, the Dutch guys with the rifles or whatever, police, what force, whatever, ask us for the money because we didn't pay the fare. I had to give them 28 American dollars. That's all I had left. The irony is at that point too, I later on found out that my grandfather came to Los Angeles in the 1940s and all he had was $28 when he got here. And so in like in a movie, it started to snow. I had never been in the snow, like it's snowing. I've been to the snow, like Big Bear, Arrowhead type LA shit, but I had never been where it was snowing. And then it starts snowing and I'm broke. I have this army backpack, the only thing my dad ever gave me. So I have all my clothes, I have 100 cassette tapes, all my clothes, my Walkman, back when you used to have a tape player with all my tapes that I want to listen to, all the tapes I'm selling, my tape case that I used to sell my tapes in. This is a huge bag on my back. My only coat. Like, it's been my whole life, like, is on my back because I don't have a place to live anymore. I had to clean out my apartment. My mom didn't give me a place to live. So everything I own is here, and I'm in Groningen, Holland, headed to I say it's the projects, but an apartment complex. Shout out to Zombie Squad to sleep on somebody's floor. I have no money, and I'm about to live my dream. We hopped trains everywhere. I stole food from grocery stores, stole postcards to send home to my mom. Started making a little money. We performed at orphanages, stayed at people's house, watched episodes of X-Files on VHS. But everywhere I go, I was sleeping on the floor until I had to sleep in an abandoned building, shitting in the most uncomfortable places. This is my first tour. I never slept in a bed for 3 weeks. I never slept alone in a room. I believe we ate at one restaurant. I ate McDonald's chicken nuggets most days. And cheese sandwiches, which I know I'm allergic to dairy, so I'm fucking up my stomach. I have the worst stomach aches ever when I eat dairy, and I didn't know why. I thought, it's like you're lactose intolerant. No, it's next level. I can't even describe it. Like, you know how when white people say that they backpack across Europe, it was like that, but I guess the black version, like thugged out. It was like, you know, we were in Hamburg, and we after the show, this girl decides because a lot of things too, we're with some dudes a couple dudes in the crew smoke weed, so they want to smoke weed. So we go back to the house and they want to smoke weed mixed with tobacco, which the homies don't like. And then, so they make them roll up the Pierce weed, and then they smoke weed. They're from the Bay, so they smoke a lot of weed quickly. And so one girl starts crying. We're staying in her apartment, and you smoked all the ganja. Because the homies, no, they're getting it on, about to get it on, or they were about to get it on. So, one homie's in her hammock. He's up here on our bed. We're all on this is a one-room flat, bro. And there's 6 of us in here with the girl. And it's he's getting his thing on with her. And they're smoking before they get to business or whatever. And then she, legitimate emotional breakdown. You smoked all the ganja. Oh my God, bro. Good thing she didn't kick us out. I can't tell you. So that was where I come from. Touring. The next tour was all of us in an RV when Hyro asked us to go out. God bless Aesop. And that's full Living Legends. That's the official. No, I'm sorry, 8, because Scarab wasn't on that tour with us. So it was 8 of us, including Arata. Picasso, Arata, Lucky, Grouch, Eli, myself, Sunspot, Aesop. In a 1-bedroom Winnebago type thing. That's it. A TV wedged over the stove with a Nintendo 64 so we can play Bond and Mario Kart, because that is essential in 1998. That is all. All 8 of us have hundreds of tapes stored in different places. 4 or 5 different tape decks plugged into all the outlets, because we're making these tapes, people. We're still producing these tapes, manufacturing these cassettes ourselves. And they're our livelihood. There are 8 different people. When we go to a city, there's 8 different dudes trying to sell you a tape, along with Hyro and their merch. We don't have hotels. We get to the city, we have to try to find out. There's no internet. We don't even have a fucking, what is the little thing? Not Waymo, but the little square things, the little map quest. No map. We would maybe go to a hotel and print out MapQuest directions if we could. Really like Thomas Guide, huge maps trying to find our way to the next city. We crossed the border into Toronto like that. We were there so long. Like I got to play Madden with Casual, which was like an amazing thing to me at the border, at the Toronto border, where they sweated me because I had a resisting arrest and pissing in public charge. Like as a teenager, like they were going into my teenage records and other shit in there. Like, oh, bro, that was tour then. Next tour, at Murs Rules the World, I just do a few cities in Texas in my Cadillac. Cardi's 2000, I'll never forget my first solo show in Houston. I was doing songs off Varsity Blues, Good Music, For Real, and Murs Rules the World. My tour manager, shout out to Scooter, he was the guy who was one of the first people, him and Hip Hop Mecca are the first people to start, as far as I know, or I can say one of, I don't know if the for one of the first people to have hip hop at South by Southwest. There was no rappers at South by Southwest. It was Soul Sides, Hieroglyphics, Living Legends. That's it. And we had to go off. And then Atmosphere came in a couple of years after that. So the people who used to bring us there, when I started touring, I was like, well, Scooter, like, you should road manage me. It's like, if you guys want to do more music shit. Then eventually I convinced Living Legends, or we talked and Living Legends hired them. And Scooter became A$AP Rock's manager, but I was the first one to deputize Scooter, the legend, as a road manager. Now he's a high-level jiu-jitsu combat specialist or some shit. Anyway, so me and Scooter speeding in my car on the freeway of Lose and Mercer's El Dore, listening to Ghostface, my famous Eldorado that's on the back cover of Felt 2, and Slug raps about my favorite car I ever owned, my first car.
I spit hot bars, I spit on cop cars, I spit game to the chicks that belong to rock stars. Got the goods uptown to Hollywood, so what you don't like us, your girl probably would. Having a good day on the freeways of Lose and Mercer's El Dore, listening to Ghostface.
He's driving that. He's my tour manager. He gets a speeding ticket. Because driving through Texas, you always want the white person to drive, but they can still get speeding tickets, but you won't get pulled over for DWB. It's driving while black. But I do the show, and like there was 10 people. Houston shows I've never done. Houston and Detroit on the Love and Rockets 1 tour, there were more people because we had the band with Ski and Brady Watt and Joe Blacks, and we had a full band. There were legitimately more people on stage during my set than in the crowd at the Magic Stick. Houston was that level. At Cardi's 2000, it was a club in a strip mall. There were maybe 10 people there. My performance was so dynamic that everyone, or they felt so bad for me, some of the people weren't even fans. They were just there at a bar. Everyone in the crowd bought a copy of Varsity Blues and Murs Was the World that night. And even the guy at the bar, who it turns out was the voice of the Reggae Frog in Parappa the Rapper, which is one of my favorite games ever. I nerded the fuck out.
In the flea market so early, I've been working here since my mama was a baby. Just because the rhythm is slow, that don't mean that you can't flow.
I wish I had Instagram back. If we had Instagram on the Europe tour, if we had Instagram on the Hyro tour, we would have been more famous than we are right now. Not having Napster was great for us, but not having social media back then, like all these stories are just living legends. That's why I guess it is what it is. The shit, like, I don't even remember half the shit. Like, A+ once had to break up almost fist fight between me and A$AP, like, in Houston that was so, like, idiotic. I think it was, like, over who gets to use the skateboard in the parking. Like, it was ridiculous. And we were so serious and furious at each other. Comedic gold, like, and struggle rap gold, like, the monument to DIY is our story, and it would have been documented. No, there was no manager. Like Odd Future, like the shit they did was wild, but then they had Clancy, like they had somebody. Like we had no supervision, just a bunch of 20-year-old and teenage. I was a teenager. I just turned 20 in 1998. Like fucking up beyond just, oh my God. We got in a brawl in New Mexico with the security And then they broke in and stole our Nintendo 64 and trashed our shit. Like, mwah. Like, that tour. But the guy, I wish I could have got the general, I forget his name is, from Par Rapper to Rapper on Instagram or just video of it. He did his part for me. I sold a bunch of tapes. That was my first kind of solo outing. The next one was End of the Beginning, and I had that My Way and the Highway tour. Todd Mumford managed me. Our tour managed me. He produced on Murs Rules the World, Mums the Words and shit. We've established that here on the podcast. He tour managed. Brother Ali came out with me, BK1, and Lucky. That's where I almost got arrested. But we were in a van. I had my own room every night, I think. And I was big. I lost $8,000 in cash. But, the next tour was the 316 tour, and that's like Def Jam. Then we're moving to buses. Living Legends did a bus tour for, I think, Classic or Creative Differences, one of them. Wherever the tour, I didn't do Classic tour, so it was the Creative Differences tour, and it was me, Idea and Abilities, and that was a fun tour. ASAP was hilarious on that tour. ASAP, like, and like this, like thing is like, and Abilities has testified to this. Like, we were way more, I don't want to say hood, we were rough around the edges. Like, we were partying like rappers without the cocaine at that point, and never for me. But like, we were drunk, playing Snoop Dogg on the bus, having parties, weed, everybody saying the N-word. Like, it was nigga shit on our bus. That in indie hip hop, it wasn't like that on every bus. We were hooligans, hoodlums, wilding. So Idea and Abilities coming from the Rhyme Sayers camp had never been on a thing like this. I'm getting there with this because Strange Music and Rhyme Sayers are way different. Well, as we established, like, this is mayhem. But for me, like, I'm balanced. Like, so me and Idea and Abilities, we have the same publicist. So we're hitting the college radio stations. Like, we're getting off the bus, handling some business, going to do press, and then coming back to the mayhem. That was my first bus tour. And then End of the Beginning, I had to take a thing. Then Def Jux to do, that was when I was doing 200 shows a year. So I was on the Creative Differences tour. I was on a bus with Slug for the Warp Tour, which is like, I don't know if we talked about that, insane, like a strange tour, show after show after show. And then when you don't have shows, you're doing shows in off markets to support, because you're not getting paid much to be on the Warp Tour. So to support, we were doing one-off shows in different markets. So show after show after show after show, but we had a bus. Me, Mr. Dibbs, Jay Bird. So everybody's coming up now, because my first Atmosphere tour, there's an Atmosphere tour in a van, and Blueprint was my roommate. So I had a roommate on that tour, and we were in a van. Me and Blueprint shared one bench in the van. Dibbs got a whole bench to himself because he was the headlining DJ. Plus, his knees were shot from being a catcher and being a fat boy at one point. So those are van tours. We got up to the bus tours. Then Murray's Revenge happens. I get a record deal. I have my own bus. After that, Murs for President. I have my own bus, own rooms. I pick the tour manager. I start sleeping in the back lounge, so I don't have to sleep in the coffins. And I have really bad acid reflux. I'm supposed to get an endoscopy this week, but there's a strike, so the nurses, they moved it back. But when you lay in a tour bunk after you eat, and you lay right down, the motion of the road just rubs, the acid just flows over your esophagus and up and down your stomach, your digestive tract. Not good for you. Really, really bad. So when you sleep in the coffins, that happens. If you sleep in the back of the bus, you can kind of sit up a little bit. If you're Slug or Tech 9, you can get your own bed in the back of the bus. I never made it to that level. Murs for President, I have my face on the side of the bus. Then we get to the Strange tour. So when you're on a bus tour, you sleep on the bus. The bus parks, you park in the parking lot. You either get a cab or a shuttle to the venue, or sometimes, so the bus driver he drives during the day or all through the night, so he has to sleep at some point. So after sound check, the bus either stays at the venue sometimes, or in the hotel parking lot. Usually the bus stays at the venue. Bus pulls up for sound check, load in, taking all the equipment, merch in, then you sound check. Then the bus stays there so you can all hang out and live on the bus. While the bus driver takes a cab to the hotel, he sleeps. There's a day room, one room usually in our world, where you get one room for everybody to shower. That could be 12, 8, 6, maybe 13 or 14 motherfuckers showering. If you're lucky, you get 2 day rooms. And then the headliner usually showers first, and everybody can shower after that. You motherfuckers now, I'm a vegan on Happy Cow, printing out, not even before I could get Happy Cow on my phone, going to the hotel and printing out, or before the tour, printing out restaurants I could eat at, then calling on my cell phone a cab to pick me up to take me to a vegan restaurant, or trying to find somewhere, or walking around aimlessly in Ames, Iowa, trying to find a vegan restaurant at 6 p.m. after sound check before I go on stage. Like, there was no Uber, nothing. And then you ever try being black and calling a cab, or flagging down a cab? Not happening. And then calling a cab and the cab driver realizing, yeah. Anyway, so you take a cab to the day room, and then you take a cab back to the venue. Or, after the show, you take a cab, you shower, but then you got to take a cab back to the venue. If you're lucky, you can get in a cab. It's not recommended, with your bus driver, and head back, because the bus driver comes about 2 or 3 in the morning after the show. So then if there's girls or homies on the bus, everybody has to get off. And then the bus driver gets on. Once bus check, your tour manager is supposed to check that everybody's in their bunk. If you're smart, you have a system where everybody takes their tour laminate and hangs it in the front. So all the tour manager has to do is count the laminates, so he's not opening your bunk and waking you up, because you have little curtains you can draw. Everyone lays in these little coffins. There's 6 coffins on each side. So they're stacked threes, and there's 2 sets of 3 on one side. In the hallway of the bus, there's 2 sets of 3 on the other. You're on the bottom, you lay down, you roll into your bunk in the middle, you climb in. On top, you climb up, lay in. I was like a middle or top bunk person. Bigger guys usually take the bottom bunks. But yeah, if you're on the middle bunk, someone's, if they want to get to their bunk, they have to crawl over you. So someone's foot steps on your bunk when they crawl up. I always bought, I think the first Legend store we had a bunk, I bought a Dora the Explorer comforter for my bunk. I always had Pokemon, some type of very young, childish something. Star Wars, anything cartoony, comic booky, I bought a new comforter for every tour. Yeah, and that's the bunk situation. You might have to rub one out in your bunk. So then, we call it spunking in your bunk, spunking in your bunking. So sometimes you have to spunk in your bunk. Sometimes someone is not, they're actually having sex beneath you in the hallways. There's been all kind of things that have happened. Shit bags, can't shit on the bus. So you have to line the toilet with a plastic bag, take a shit. I forgot what Aesop was. I think he invented the name for that because he was doing it. We're in the RV. We had to go to we shit on that motherfucker in the RV. So we took turns, and we call it fromage because it smelled like shit and horrible cheese. The fromage duty. We'd pull into a Good Samaritan, Good Sam, or RV station place, lot, and campsite. That's an RV site. And then you hook up this blue tube to the fucking, and you pump it out. There were nights where we had to drive. I think in Montreal, we were so mad we drove through the city. Someone drove through the city, flooding the city with our feces. It was really hard to get into Canada. We were very unhappy with the French Canadian government. They were. I had nothing to do with that. I think that's where the fromage came from, because it's French, right? It's for cheese. But yeah, so that we're piping our own shit. So when you're on a bus, the bus driver doesn't want to do it, and then the bus company doesn't trust you fucking with their facilities, sanitation, the sanitary dump, whatever it was called. So you can't shit. So you shit in the bag, plastic bag, throw it out the window on the freeway. I've never done that, but hot bagging it. That's what it's called. Hot bagging it. Yeah. Warped Tour was shitting. Even backstage, all you have is porta potties. If you're lucky, there's some type of facility, but there are hundreds of people, even in the backstage, using it. When you have to use the porta potty, so I was shitting in a porta potty for a whole summer. Rarely had a hotel night. And it's summer. You ever been in a porta potty at a punk rock festival in the summer? And I had to shit, and I have to shit every time before I go on stage. Back then, there's no chance that I was getting on stage without shitting first. My stomach goes haywire. I don't like performing. So when I could tour, and I offered Terrace Martin to tour with me once, and I was like, yeah, you'll have your own bunk. I can't pay you per diem. But what he would get on per diem on some major label artist tours was what he would get a week performing with me. But he would get a day. Per diem means per day. You give everybody a little money per day to eat. So I didn't know what per diem was until I went on tour with the Masterminds, I think. They taught me about per diem and buyout and all this shit. So I went back and told Living Legends. There's a funny ass Aesop story, man. So like we did a Colorado tour. Like when we did a tour, we had like 4 or 5 shows in Colorado. I broke it down to my brothers. I was like, look, we're supposed to be getting this thing called per diem. And if we get to the venue, they're supposed to get a buyout. Like I put them like, this is what everyone on tour is getting. There's a thing called a rider. The rider's the shit you send to a venue. Like I want purple M&Ms. I want a bottle of Hennessy. Like I wanted a picture of Jennifer Lopez backstage. I think Lucky requested a picture of Serena Williams. Peanut butter and jelly, creamy, not crunchy. Grape jelly, not jam. White, the cheapest white bread possible. And I used to do Budweiser. Then it became Jose Cuervo, the cheapest brown tequila you could have. And that the liquor has changed from Jameson to, then I started doing like, okay, just whatever craft beer, not an IPA, a local beer, no IPA, and a bottle of Jameson, but always peanut butter and jelly. That's why I've had 4 dental surgeries this week before I head to Europe. And, I would take that on the bus or to my room if I was on a van tour, but usually on the bus, and then eat it on the bus and lay in my bunk and destroy my teeth. Because you can't, and it's not potable water. You don't want to brush your teeth with the water on the bus. And it's like late 90s, bottled water wasn't as plentiful as it is now. So I was like, I'll just brush my teeth at the day room. Brushing once a day is not going to be good for the tour. And usually in the morning, or abilities acute. I used to just put like Sprite in my mouth and brush my teeth and let it eat away at the film. Like, this living so foul, not the best dental hygiene. And that's obvious with me. I'm all over the place, but tour, it could be some really sick or fun shit. But so when I told the Aesop story, when I told them about the rider and the per diem, so when we did the Colorado tour, we all got per diem. And then there was a couple of days where we didn't get per diem or something. And like nobody was tripping because we sold a lot of tapes. We did a lot of shows. Like we're making it now. Like we know where we come from. But Aesop, bro, was so furious that we didn't get our per diem. This is like, I had just got off Masterminds tour. Like I was doing pretty well for myself financially. So he was just like, man, he's going crazy. And I'm like, these people are doing their best. Like, man, like, can we just like have a nice ride to the airport? Like, why are we ending this tour on a shitty note? I think I'd actually got laid and like made like a Colorado girlfriend that tour. Like I'm on cloud 9. I want my boys. Like Masterminds tour was fun, but I wasn't like the star of that tour, and I was not eating shit, but I was not, now we're the headliners. I'm with my boys we started with. Now we're all getting per diem most nights, and we having hotel rooms and shit. Like he's yelling like, fuck that, blah, blah. I'm like, my nigga, how much does he owe you? Here. He threw the money in my face and like climbed over the seat, got my face. That's not the point, nigga. I had to feed myself. Like and to this day we say, I had to feed myself. That was the thing about Aesop. It'd be a moment that was just so insane and so seriously unhinged, even after he laughed. I was so hot, cuz threw the money in my face, my nigga. I was ready to, like, me and Aesop, like I said, best friends, but I've wanted to fight him before I met him and while I know him. Oh, my brother in Christ, I miss you. But yeah, that nigga said, I had to feed myself. It's not about that fucking money, nigga. Like bro, you ever give somebody some money? And I'm sure I gave it in a backhanded way. I'm not a fucking saint. But I was just like, shut up, cuz. Like, shut the fuck up. That was my thing. Like, Aesop would like be mad at the most. Another fight we got into on tour is just like him being like something. I'm like, my nigga, like everybody on here is like well sexed this tour, well fed, well paid. Why are you causing a commotion? Like, I think I had just got some. I was just like, why are you yelling? Like, because that's the thing too. You're living in a tube with 8 grown men. And as we got more money, we separated. We weren't all living. First, it was cool because we were all living in the outhouse. It was a huge warehouse. We're still living together. We had 1 bathroom in that motherfucker with no door. So like we were thugging it out together. We had heard each other fucking and fighting and all the other shit before, So being on a bus or being on that wasn't that difficult. But as we got our own apartments and shit and our own households and families and shit, like coming together and living in a tube with a bunch of grown men who are used to being the kings of their castle, man, I'm like, yo, I just busted a nut. I want to fucking chill out in the front room because you can't chill in the hallway. Somebody's playing video games or listening to music or talking to a girl in the back room. That's reserved for whoever has a date. I got to be in the front lounge. And you're up here storming and stomping because somebody got more weed than you. Not somebody got weed and you didn't. Somebody got more weed than you. Like, I'd be like, shut up, man. Do I need to go buy some weed? That's not the point. Like, oh, man. It's like what is the Rosie Perez thing, White Man Can't Jump? You don't want to solve the problem. You say, I too know what it feels like to get less weed. I too know what it feels like to thirst.
If I'm thirsty, I don't want you to bring me a glass of water. I want you to sympathize. I want you to say, Gloria, I too know what it feels like to be thirsty. I too have had a dry mouth.
Shout out to Calmatic. Make sure you see the White Man Can't Jump remake with Jack Harlow. That shit is fire as fuck. I don't know why people didn't love his house party of White Man Can't Jump. As someone who lived through those things, I love both of those films. And if you have a chance, go watch White Man Can't Jump on Hulu or House Party on HBO Max, whatever you got, do it. It won't be a waste. It's a fun, easy, enjoyable ride.
Hey, they letting yoga instructors in the gym now.
Ball. I just noticed you're not getting enough legs on a new shot. Are you dehydrated?
$100, you can't make more shots.
Let's just do 300.
It's not my dad's money.
You ain't never gonna get a reparation that way, bro.
So I prefer Venmo or Zelle, but you seem like a Cash App guy, so.
Tour, per diem, all those things. I get to strange music, and I'm like an expert tour. I've run the Pay Dues tour. You can listen to the podcast or Patreon podcast if you want to hear that episode. Like I'm an expert at touring and events now, and that's another reason I eventually got to sleep on text bus, because I'm like, I'm no nonsense. I'm on time unless I'm smoking a cigarette with Cut Calhoun and Cousin and thinking I'm about to die. I am, but strange music has a book of rules. Never in my life have I seen a rule book. And like Travis was cool with me. He's like, I know you get it. This is for everyone else, for the staff and for the newer rappers. I know how you conduct business. You're a businessman. Travis, I love him for always extending that respect to me and tech and the staff. Like I was vegan, sober. Like all I want to do is maybe smoke a cigarette and read a comic, go to the comic book store, bro. I'm not with all. I'm gonna be on time. I'm gonna rap my ass off. So strange music is very Midwest. You have to have the rules are like you have to have your strange music shirt, hat, shorts, radio on every morning. If you're on staff, there's a bunch of merch people. There's huge merch. The only day and time you get a day off on tour is to re-up on merch. That's the only reason tech takes days. Strange music takes days off on tour. There's a meet and greet you have to be at. You have to use your laminate. You lose your laminate once, you get fined this. You use your laminate twice, you get that. You use your laminate the third time, they greyhound you, means they just drop you wherever they are. It could be on the side of the road, or if you're lucky at the ground station or at the venue. So you get greyhounded. There's fines. All the fines will be donated to the charity of your choice at the end of the tour. There's a rule. There's a 3-page rule. That's a book as far as touring. Like, this is tour. Like I said, we talked about the studio. You're an artist. This is your free time to be an animal, a maniac, within reason. But within reason for most rock stars includes cocaine and red M&Ms. Trashing hotel rooms. You do not do that on a strange music tour. Everything is by the book. It is very sanitary. I'm not hating, bro. I'm just saying, though. There are no day rooms on the strange music tour. What happens is, after the show, 1, 2 a.m., there are no guests allowed on the bus. Basically. Those rules have been broken here and there. Not by me. The bus leaves at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Then you go to a Love's truck stop where you are free, if you're still awake and not tired as fuck. Like, you ever been, when you don't drive and it's 2 a.m. and you just performed your ass off and you've been doing meet and greets and signing shit and hanging out or drinking and you just ate and you have to eat on the bus. So motherfuckers are there's a George Foreman grill. Unless you want to pay for a cab to go somewhere to get something to eat, which I did offer our bake fans to take me to Taco Bell. Shout out to everybody all the technicians that have taken me on a Taco Bell run in the middle of the night. It was the worst thing ever for my acid reflux, but the best thing ever for my spirit and soul. You go to sleep. So I would try to sit up in the front. So you have to have all your showering things. Because what's going to happen, buddy, is you're going to take a shower at a truck stop. Have you ever showered at a truck stop? You've seen how I perform. And I was performing with my shirt off and sweating hard on this tour. And I sweat every night through to my drawers. I'm soaked. My socks are wet after I perform. On my own tours, I put on, sorry, the rider consists of white t-shirts because Slug taught me that. Having white t-shirts, sometimes socks. I bring a pair of sweats or something. Something when I got really good at, I would bring another pair of underwear. I just get all of it all. And then change into that and then change again when I get to the hotel. But I can't walk out into the cold night, usually because it's summer. We didn't used to tour in summer because all the kids are on summer break and we were a college thing. College-age kids were fucking with us. So we didn't really tour on summer. So we're touring usually in the winter or the fall or the spring. You know, spring is good. But spring is not as good because you're always hitting somebody's winter spring break. It's cold as fuck. And I'm drenched in sweat to my drawers. But then you sit there in your own sweat, waiting. Oh, sorry, yeah, the George Foreman grill. So people go in the microwave. That is what you eat. So imagine being a vegan on this tour. Once again, I'm eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly, guys. Fresh fruit, peanut butter and jelly. Frozen vegetables from Walmart. Pre-seasoned, come in plastic, and you put it in them. It's the worst thing for you. But this is what I'm doing. Cereal with soy milk. They all think that I'm weird because I don't drink and I don't eat meat and I wasn't fornicating. So they think I am extremely gay and extremely weird and I'm from California. My two guys I brought on tour as my assistant Brick at the time, who has a book called Almost Famous, where he went on to be the photographer and tour manager for Odd Future early on. Shout out to Brick Stowell. And my best friend Magi, where's my DJ, they would take the Walmart meats or they would, like, we would go to like a nice Whole Foods type of store. They would buy like prosciutto or whatever, like fancy meats and cheeses and make paninis. The Strange staff thought that was gay as well. Like we were the gayest, weirdest California people to them ever. Everything we said, did was like, what? Like they were, this is 2009, like after the show, what was going on, like when they were bumping shit, they were still playing In the Club by 50 Cent. Like this is just a whole nother, like, it's different. It's culture clash in close quarters. When they would make paninis. They would get good bread and good cheese and good meat and make paninis. Everyone to the face, that y'all gay than a motherfucker. What's that? And I don't think they use those words. Later on off tour, Brick and Magi told me like every member of the Strange staff that was on our bus later asked them to make them a panini in secret, but not tell anyone. This is what we're dealing with, people. But back to that, after the show, you're sitting, you're waiting till you get to a truck stop. Hopefully it's 15 minutes out of town. Sometimes it's an hour out of town. The driver stops to get gas. You have that amount of time to hop off the bus. At the time, I believe it was $14 a night to shower. You hold your slippers, your shower caddy, your loofah. They have washcloths. I learned that later, so I just use the washcloth. They like hose them down with bleach. And this is pretty clean, but still you don't want to step on the floor. One of our tour managers showered at the House of Blues in New Orleans and got the worst foot fungus we ever saw. We nicknamed him Pussyfoot after that because it smelled up the whole bus, the way his foot had reacted. So you don't want to get Pussyfoot, so you wear slippers in the shower. You go into the space. It's basically a cell, but it's extremely clean. Get warm water. But I'm going out sweaty into the cold, so it's freezing. Then I come out. If you're old in your country or black or whatever, indigenous, everyone has a thing like cover up your ears. Your heat, your pores open, the cold's getting in your pores. You're going to catch the death of pneumonia, all that other shit. That's what I was told growing up. So I'm like running. And then for me, on the Strange tour, like I have this huge chunk of hair, bro. Could freeze and turn into a brick. Like washing your hair when you have that type of hair on tour, it's just all of it, bro. To come back into a tube with 12 other men that are doing the same thing. Like everybody's trying, if they're clean. Then you got to look at the motherfuckers who aren't getting off to take a shower a certain way. So everybody's usually showering because of that. But then like, yeah, man, your sleep is all fucked up. Your diet's all fucked up. You're tired. You haven't, and then it's the only place you can shit too. You usually try to shit because you don't want to shit backstage. And then if you do get a day room, the whole bus is using that day room. 13 people in one hotel bathroom. I'd much rather the truck stop, but I'd much rather just have everybody have their own room or 2 day rooms. that is what we're dealing with on tour. I met E40 for the second time on a Tech 9 tour, and we'll start there next week. And if you haven't already bought the amazing book, my first book I've written by myself, well, my friend Jay wrote a couple entries as well, but the majority of the book is written by me, photos by the great Jay Yedo, JohnnyPlantain.com, Tour Story Volume 1 is still for sale. You may drop Tour Story Volume 2 sooner than later. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's a book out, Tour Story. We're going to keep it live on JohnnyPlantain.com. The book is called Tour Story Volume 1. My homie Jay Yedo took pictures. I wrote the words, told some tour stories. Many of you met him at the merch booth. But go get your book, JohnnyPlantain.com, and look it up.